Hi there. My name is John Stevens. I'm pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we are part of the ELCA. And welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where I take a look at the lectionary text, tying to an item from the Dollar Tree or the kids' room or the junk drawer or the garage. You know how we've been doing it. Thank you for spending a little bit of your week with me in this way. And before I forget, you're rocking it. Thank you so much for the love that you're sharing with your congregations, your kids, your families. They're better for it, and the world's better for it. So thank you for the work you're doing. This is for the 19th Sunday after Pentecost, and whoa, oh boy, I tell you. So if you subscribe to Sundays and Seasons online, there is in the show notes, but actually it's in the worship resources. They have a little paragraph on connecting the gospel and the psalm to the kids' time, to the children's sermon, and tying the vineyard, tying creation to, and that, and I like it. And so if you're going for the gospel lesson, because we hopefully will get to the gospel and the good news, even if we're not dealing with the gospel reading. Check that out. I am looking at the second reading. I'm looking at Philippians. I'm looking at the idea of Paul saying, again, he says it a couple of times throughout his writing. Then he says, if anyone could boast, if anyone, he uses, I'm taking like 3 or 4 places where he says it and kind of meshing it together, but the whole point is like, if someone's going to be saved through works, if someone's going to be like all hoity-toity and all that, because of the works they do, then Paul is in. But he considers all of those loss, because in the eyes of Christ, Christ loves us in spite of what we've done, and before what we've done, and after what we've done, all of those things, that we are connected in that way. So that's the direction I'm going, in this idea that God loves us. You probably got that that's a theme of mine. Is grace, 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 grace. God's love pours out upon us. So the springboard for this is toilet paper. Yeah, I remember when a few years back, when I wanted to use toilet paper in a children's sermon, and I'm like, I don't think I could do it. This is gold. Anyway, but used into toilet paper. But actually what the idea is the toilet paper is going to be play the part of note paper. Because what I want you to do, and I believe I used this idea and connected to another children's sermon way back. But so what the springboard is to take the toilet paper. This is going to take some time. This is not a Sunday morning I have to figure out because the children's minister called in sick, or I forgot that I signed up to do the talk. This is a couple of days before. But toilet paper, roll this out, and you can, and it doesn't have to be completely done, but you can roll out a good, roll out a good 20 feet. And then using a marker, you don't have to actually write on it, but using a marker or a pencil, or there are types of markers that don't bleed through, but anyway, it doesn't matter. You're going to just sketch it like you've written something on there. Here, and here, and here, and you're going to go all the way 20 feet in. So, you've got this in the back, you've got this somewhere out of view, and talk about how Paul talks about all of the things that Paul has done right. I mean, he's lived up to everything he's supposed to do. He's like, I mean, if he was a kid, it's like, oh, look, I've done the chores every single day. I've washed the dishes. I dried the dishes. I unloaded the dishwasher. I was the dishwasher. All these lists of things that make so I am lovable. Or if you're like me, all of the ways you mess up, I keep this whole line and you pull this out and you go, I've got the list of all of the things that I've done wrong, all the ways that I've messed up. And so this is the reason I'm using the toilet paper. So you've got this list, and if you're well, it doesn't even matter if your sanctuary has an aisle down the center where you meet, where you're sitting. But I mean, if you're there, you're in the Sunday school room, whatever. You've got a place where this can roll. And I'm up on a couple of steps, so I've got at least a little bit of gravity helping me. But the idea that you just let this roll out, and it rolls on the ground. You can give it a little push as it rolls out, and it drives home the idea. You've got 20 feet of written stuff, and you probably won't even get all of it out there. But that idea, it's that physical humor, if you will, but it makes the point. It makes the point that I've got a couple of things I'm knowing I've messed up on, and just like all of these things, God loves us in spite of both of those. God doesn't love us because of all of the things we do. God doesn't, all of the lists that we have, God does not, that doesn't stop God from loving us. God loved us from the very beginning, and it's all through and because of Christ. So that's that connection of the Philippians text about all of the things, and I consider it lost because of Christ. And some of that language I wouldn't necessarily use in the children's sermon. It just gets confusing. But the idea that we are loved before our failings, we are loved after our mess ups, we are loved through, and God holds us. It's a good thing. All right, that's the springboard. Using a roll of toilet paper like gold, my friends. And I'm hoping this can be useful for your own children's sermon. Thank you so much for taking your time. Thank you so much for your partnership in this ministry. Thank you for the love you're sharing with your kids and your families. You are rocking it. All right, peace. We'll see you next week.